Hi students, this is A. Mandari Kumar Rajesh. In this video, we are going to discuss the types of bacteria according to their size, shape and presence of flagella. First, I am going to tell about the size. Depending upon the species, the bacterial cell size shows great variation. Depending upon the species, the bacterial cell shows great variation. The average size of the bacterial cell is about 2 to 5 micron in length. 2 to 5 micron in length. So this is the average size of a bacterial cell, 2 to 5 micron in length. Then the smallest known bacterium is called as Dialister nemosynthis. Dialister nemosynthis. So this is the known smallest bacterium. Then the largest known bacterium is called as Ephalopsychum Fischl-Schoni. So the largest known bacterium is called as Ephalopsychum Fischl-Schoni. Then I am going to tell about the shapes of bacteria. So bacteria shows different shapes. So this bacteria shows round. This bacteria shows round shape. If a bacteria shows round, ellipsoid, ovoid or spherical shape, and that bacteria are called as coccus. If a bacteria shows round, ellipsoid, ovoid or spherical shape, that bacteria is called as coccus. Actually, coccus is a Greek term. Coccus is a Greek term that means berry. That means berry or particle. So coccus is a round or spherical or ellipsoidal or ovoidal bacteria. If the coccus bacteria occur in single, that bacteria is called as micrococcus. If a bacteria occurs in single, that bacteria is called as micrococcus. If that bacteria occurs in pair, they are called as diplococcus. Then if the bacteria occurs in 4, they are called as tetracoccus. Then the bacteria occurs like a chain. The coccus bacteria occurs like a chain, and that bacteria is called as streptococcus. Then if the bacteria looks like a grape, clusters of grapes. If the bacteria looks like a cluster of grapes, and that bacteria is called as Staphylococcus. Then the final bacteria shows a cubical in nature. They are in cubical in nature because that bacteria fail to dissociate during replication, such that it shows cubical type of 8 bacteria. Because they fail to dissociate during replication, and that bacteria is called as sarcine. So that's all about the coccus bacteria. Then the example for coccus bacteria are Staphylococcus aureus and Diplococcus pneumoniae. So these are some of the examples of coccus bacteria. Then I am going to tell about the second one. So this bacteria shows rod shape. And that bacteria is called as bacillus. If a bacteria shows elongated cylindrical rod shape, and that bacteria is called as bacillus bacteria. If that bacteria occurs in single, they are called as bacillus. If that bacteria occurs in pair, they are called as diplobacillus. Called as diplobacillus. Then this bacteria is called as palisade bacteria. This bacteria is called as palisade bacteria because the bacteria are arranged in angular. Because the bacteria are arranged in angular arrangement. That is why they are called as palisade bacteria. That is why they are called as palisade bacteria. And these bacteria are partially attached to the other bacteria. These bacteria are attached partially to the other bacteria. So that type of arrangement is called as angular arrangement, and that type of bacteria is called as palisade bacillus bacteria or palisade bacteria. Then this bacteria occurs like a chain. This bacteria occurs like a chain, and that bacteria is called as streptobacillus. That bacteria is called as streptobacillus. So example for the bacillus bacteria is Bacillus anthracis. Bacillus anthracis. Then I am going to tell about the spiral bacteria. So this bacteria looks like a spring. They look like a spiral. It look like a spiral, and that bacteria is called as spiral bacteria. That bacteria is called as spiral bacteria. So this bacteria shows a spiral-like structure, spirally coil-like structure. Example for the spiral bacteria are Rhodospirillum and Spirulina. Rhodospirillum and Spirulina. Then it shows a comma-like shape. It shows a comma-like shape. So that is why they are called as Vibrio bacteria. Vibrio bacteria. So if a bacteria shows comma shape, that bacteria are called as Vibrio bacteria. Actually, Vibrio bacteria are rod or spherical in shape, and it contains a singleton, and it contains singleton. It contains singleton. So this is a singleton. So if a bacteria looks like a comma shape, that bacteria are called as Vibrio bacteria. Example for Vibrio bacteria is Vibrio cholerae. Vibrio cholerae. Then here you can find a mycelium type of bacteria. Mycelium type of bacteria. So mycelium means actually the plant body of fungi. So the plant body of bacteria resembles a fungi. Resembles a fungi. That is why the bacteria is said to be mycelium type of bacteria. So that class is called as actinomycetes. Actinomycetes. Actinomycetes is a bacterial group that their bacterial body is look like fungi body. That is why that groups are called as actinomycetes. So the bacterial body resembles the fungi body. That is why that group is called as actinomycetes. Then this bacteria is called as stacked bacterium. This bacteria is called as stalked bacterium. Stalked bacterium. So this bacteria shows a stalk-like structure. This bacteria shows stalk-like structure. That is why that bacteria is called as stalked bacterium. That is why the bacteria is called as stalked bacterium. Then this bacterium shows an outgrowth, isn't it? The outgrowth. So that bacteria is called as budded bacteria. That bacteria is called as budded or budding bacteria. Budding bacteria. So you can find the outgrowth at different places. So this bacterium possesses the outgrowth at different places, and that bacteria is called as budding bacteria, and that bacteria are called as budding bacteria. So these are the types of bacteria according to their shapes. Now I am going to tell about the types of bacteria according to their presence of flagella. So please wait a minute. Let me tell about the types of bacteria based on the presence of flagella. First, I am going to tell about flagella. Flagella are whip-like organ which is helpful for locomotion. Flagella is whip-like organ which is helpful in locomotion. Then the bacterial flagella are cytoplasmic in origin. The bacterial flagella are cytoplasmic in origin, and they are helpful in locomotion. Then that flagella are made up of elastic fibrous protein called flagellin. So the bacterial flagella is made up of a protein called flagellin. Then on the basis of the flagella, the bacteria can be classified into 5 types. If the bacteria do not possess any flagella, that bacteria is called as atrichous. So that means A means absence. So absence of flagella. If the bacteria do not possess any flagella, that bacteria is called as atrichous. Example for atrichous bacteria is called as coccus. So example for atrichous bacteria is called coccus. Then if the bacteria possess only one flagella at one end, that bacteria is called as monotrichous. Example for monotrichous bacteria is Theobacillus. Example for monotrichous bacteria is Theobacillus. Then in this bacteria you can find tuft of flagella at both polar ends. So that type of bacteria is called as amphitrichous bacteria. Because it possesses tuft of flagella at both ends. So the example for amphitrichous bacteria is Nitrosomonas. So example for amphitrichous bacteria is called as Nitrosomonas. Then here you can find the bacteria which possess flagella all over the body, all over the surface of the bacterial cell wall, and that bacteria is called as peritrichous bacteria, That means the bacteria possess the flagella all over the surface of the bacteria. So example for peritrichous bacteria is E. coli bacteria. Then here the bacteria possess a tuft of flagella or a single flagella. And that bacteria is called as Lophotrichous bacteria. So in this bacteria, the bacteria possess a tuft of flagella or a single flagella at polar surface, at polar end. So that type of bacteria is called as Lophotrichous bacteria. Example for Lophotrichous bacteria is Vibrio. So that's all about the types of bacteria according to their size, shape and presence of flagella. So if you have any doubt, please clarify with me. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.